So managing supply-demand imbalance during a crisis. A design thinking approach to the Hurricane Sandy gas shortage.
In introduction, Hurricane Sandy severely disrupted normal economic activities along the eastern coast of United States in 2012. One of the most critical consequences was the acute shortage of gasoline caused by supply chain disruptions, power outages at fuel stations, panic buying and hoarding behavior. Long queues, rising tensions and highlighted how sudden shocks can disrupt the balance between demand and supply. This case study examines the gas shortage crisis using the design thinking framework to understand the human behavior, identify core problems and propose sustainable solutions.
So, in this case study, the problem statement is how can government authorities and fuel suppliers effectively manage a sudden supply-demand imbalance during a natural disaster while ensuring fair access, minimizing panic and preventing unethical practices such as price gouging.
Now we are going to discuss design thinking approach. There are 5 stages in design thinking approach. The first stage is empathy stage. The empathy stage focuses on understanding the experiences and the emotions of affected stakeholders. Citizens face long waiting hours, uncertainty and anxiety due to fuel scarcity. Essential service providers struggle to operate without fuel. Some consumers resorted to hoarding or paying high prices through informal markets. Authorities faced pressure to act quickly amid public frustration and social unrest. This stage highlights that the crisis was not only economic but also emotional and social in nature.
So again is a defined stage. In this stage, the core issues are clearly identified. Sudden surge in demand due to the panic buying and reduced supply caused by power failures and regulatory restrictions. So inefficient distributions of available gasoline and ethical and illegal charges related to price increases. The core problem was mismanagement of limited resources during the emergency, leading to inefficient and inequality in access.
So now let's see about Ideate stage. The possible solutions were brainstormed to address the defined problems. Implement fuel rationing based on vehicle number plates. Temporarily relax regulations to allow fuel imports from neighboring states. Prioritize fuel access for emergency and essential services. Increases transparency through public communication to reduce panic buying. Strict monitoring to prevent price gouging. These ideas aim to balance economic efficiency with social fairness. Next stage. Now let's see about prototype stage. Selected ideas were implemented on a trial basis. Odd-even license plate rationing was introduced to reduce queues. Regulatory waivers allowed out-of-state fuel procurement. Enforcement agencies monitored fuel prices and penalized violations. These measures acted as real-time prototypes to test policy effectiveness during the crisis.
Next, we are going to see this stage. The outcomes of the implemented measures were evaluated. Fuel lines shortened significantly. More gas stations resumed operations. Public confidence gradually improved. Compliments reduced as availability stabilization. The testing stage confirmed that structured interventions helped restore equilibrium between supply and demand.
Now we are going to see about solution summary. By applying design thinking, authorities shifted from reactive control to human-centric crisis management. Rationing, regulatory flexibility and enforcement together ensure fair distribution and reduce panic-driven demand.
Long queues, rising tension and price gouging highlights how sudden shocks can disturb the balance between demand and supply. This case study examined the gas shortage crisis using design thinking framework to understand the human behavior, identify core problems and propose sustainable solution.
Finally, we concluded this case study. So in conclusions, the Hurricane Sandy gas shortage demonstrates how economic crises require more than traditional supply-demand analysis. A design thinking approach helps policymakers understand the human behavior, define real problems and implement practical solutions. The gas shortage demonstrates how economic crises. The case proves that empathetic, well-tested interventions can can restore the economic stability and even during extreme disruptions, practical solutions and making it a valuable learning model for managers and economists.
So, in this case study, we understand design thinking framework to understand the examine extract disciplines and making it a valuable learning model for managers and economics. Thank you.